Hello, my name is Riley Oroshiba, and I'm going to currently present to you my presentation on Frank Sinatra, who is often considered one of, if not the most important musicians of all time, at least two, especially to American music. Alright, here's my background. Frank Sinatra was born on December 12th, 1915 in Hoboken, New Jersey, to Italian immigrant parents Marty and Dolly Sinatra. I mean, those were their nicknames, but those are the names most people know his parents by. He first grew to love music, at least the type of music he would later known as, by Bing Crosby. If you actually listen to him, you can definitely hear the influence on him. He would later drop out of school at age 16 with the help of his mom, who supported him in this decision, and join a group that would later become known as the Hoboken Four. This is where Sinatra's first musical performances started being well known. He would eventually go solo after some troubles with another partner, but this would become the first peak of his career, and this was around the 1930s until World War II. This is where his first peak was, when he rose. This was a different time, though. This was not the Frank Sinatra we know now. I mean, you can listen to his songs. There was a lot smoother, softer, and just not a kind of Frank, but not exactly like his actual music we know. But then in 1947 happened, and his career started to go down. And this period lasted for about 6 years, until 1953. And this is where his second peak started, in the 50s and 60s. This is where the Frank Sinatra you hear in every Italian restaurant is. Every song you hear. Now, why is that? What are the cultural reasons for that? Well, the reason why is and here are the cultural influences of Frank Sinatra. He is one of the most successful musicians of all time. This is, without a doubt, sold. He has also sold over 100 million records in total. Records, too. So not even just songs on the internet. He is also considered the first pop star. Now, this might seem weird, but he was actually considered the first pop star because he would draw large crowds in with young fans, and his music would sell top. Actually, he paved the way for the change of music, the radical change of music during the 1950s that we know now as rock and roll. For example, Elvis Presley. In fact, they have Frank Sinatra to thank for many historians. I don't think Frank Sinatra is to thank for the help of bringing rock and roll into a more accepted light, as back then it was not accepted at all. But Frank was still seen as quite a good figure. Well, the reason why was because he brought a different type of boldness and empathetic, charismatic energy to his songs that his older songs didn't have. Like, the No More was the soft-spoken Sinatra thing. The neighbor next door. The neighbor boy next door, some people called him. This was a new Sinatra that would come and take it. Now, what was the actual humanity style? His music style? Why is he important to the humanities? Well, his actual style was a mix of jazz, swing, and orchestral pop. And this is actually part of the reason why he was able to bridge the gap, because these are very popular forms of music. And in fact, of course, some people didn't believe he was truly a jazz musician, but he had a lot of jazz influences. You could tell from his voice. I mean, you can tell. Okay, here comes the fun part. Here's where my presentation, my creation comes in. This is a word cloud, as some of you might know. Everything means a different thing. The blue background represents his blue eyes, Frank Sinatra, old blue eyes. That's what he's called him. That's his nickname. The fedora is to represent his signature hat he always wears. You'll see him in the fedora constantly. And what are these words here? The words are just personal things. This is a very personal piece, because all these words mean personally what I think of what Frank Sinatra when I hear his name. A lot of these words. For example, singer was the first word I chose, like most people. But eventually I came to pop culture, masculine, and all that, because that's a lot of what Frank Sinatra embodies. These are just the citations from from my essay and stuff. And the end. Thanks for listening to my presentation. I hope it was good. And I hope you enjoyed it.